Okay, well, welcome to the first live stream for Lead Geophysical. And what we're going to do today is assemble a budget toolkit. So you're going to go to the field and you're going to install some instruments. What is the best toolkit you can assemble for the money? So I bought a lot of this at Harbor Freight Tools, and I know everybody has strong opinions on whether they're good or bad. And some tools, I bought the most expensive tool. Some tools, I bought something less expensive. And I'll explain that logic as we go through it. There are a couple things that didn't come from Harbor Freight, or a couple of Harbor Freight items that I already had that we're going to put in this toolkit. But we'll be sure to, when we do an edit of this live stream and a pack out of this tool bag, try to keep a running total. So what I'm just going to do is start unpacking. It's kind of a gross day here in Northwest Arkansas. It's rainy and cold. And yeah, we're going to just take these tools out of the packs. I got this backpack off an Amazon Black Friday deal. So it's around Thanksgiving right now. And it's a Dintuyu, but it's a $20 backpack. I didn't get a tool bag at Harbor Freight because any tool bag I liked there was around $40 or $50. So that's, yeah, we got that one off Amazon. But let's go ahead and start looking at some of these tools, and we'll see what I picked. So the first thing is a precision screwdriver set. I've got a lot of different screwdrivers, and I'm going to use my Milwaukee Fastback knife. I love this thing to open all this. Precision screwdrivers are really important for what we do. We do a lot of electronics work, and that means little bitty screws in the field, and you need something that's not going to strip them out. All right, so I've got a bubble pack coming off here. I see we've got several people watching, so go ahead and drop a comment and tell us where you're watching from and what you're doing this weekend. So it comes with this little, I don't know, kind of a nylon mat. Not sure if I love it or not, but again, for the price, these were on one of the Harbor Freight sales. The Quinn screwdrivers I found to be pretty decent. So they've got the spinny cap on top of the Quinn screwdrivers, and the tip has always been pretty good. I don't like really, really cheap sets of these. They just twist off. My favorite is probably a Klein multi-bit screwdriver, but I didn't go with the Klein multi-bit for this simply because it was going to be too expensive. Remember, this is a budget toolkit that we're assembling here. So let's see, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, it's going to be pretty tight getting all these in here. But let's see what we can do. And remember, we're going to have a fully edited version of this as well, if you want to watch that. But right now, since it's just a rainy day and I was going to be sitting here unpacking these tools anyway, I thought maybe you'd want to join me. Okay, so I see how this is supposed to work now. So you've got the big loops and the little loops that hold the end of the screwdrivers. I don't mind that too much. I'm going to go ahead and we're halfway through. Okay. So I don't use the hex small. Often these get called thermostat screwdrivers instead of precision screwdrivers. But this has the straight slot, the Phillips, the hex, and the star or Torx. I'm going to toss that. Mostly for this, I'm going to be using Phillips and straight slot to get on little terminal blocks. This is kind of nice that it has this little case. I didn't realize that this little cheap Harbor Freight set was going to come with a case. That's pretty cool. Okay, so we're not doing full tool reviews here. This is just what I would put in my budget bag for doing field work or on-site repairs. So there's the first thing, the Harbor Freight Quinn 12-piece precision screwdriver set. All right. For now, I'm just going to set it over here and we'll pack the tool bag up a little bit later. This tray, absolutely useless, and it's gone. Okay, next, this is something that I probably wouldn't say needs to be in everybody's field kit. This is the Quinn reversible action snap ring pliers. I have the Icon snap ring pliers that I carry in my service truck, and I really like them. But it's a full set and was expensive. This Quinn set, or this Quinn tool, has interchangeable heads, which, yeah, okay, it's not the best. But it's good enough for what we're trying to do here. The reason that we need snap ring pliers in our field kit is because we have a lot of little snap rings in our downhole borehole instruments that go down in deep geothermal wells. So see, these, you can have them set so that they expand for like an internal, or you can switch them to an external snap ring where when you squeeze them, they come together. And back in the back side of this terrible blister pack, we've got the different bits that are going to go with it. So these are for different size snap rings. Okay, so Quinn snap ring pliers, those are going to go in my field kit. Constant swing tubing cutter. Again, this one may or may not belong in your field kit. Why did I get this tubing cutter? Well, so one of the instruments that I install a lot uses about 1/2-inch MPT pipe. And I've traditionally cut it with a hacksaw in the field. I got kind of tired of doing that. So this is the Doyle. I got it because it's on sale again. Really nice motion on the threads there. And it's got the little reaming blade that pops out. All right. So again, you may not need this in your field kit. It goes from 3/16 to 1 1/4 inch tubing. But for us, it's going to be a nice addition. And I do like that you can retract it till that blade is almost all the way back. Not quite, but will help keep you from dinging it up quite so much maybe. And it looks like in the package, there is a extra blade down there. So we're going to grab that out. Okay, so we've got our extra blade. And everything else goes in the trash. So I'm curious, what do you guys think? What tools would you not carry, or would you carry, or things that you don't use that you carry in your everyday tool bag? Just put them down in the chat. I've got a lot of tools that I carry around that I don't use every day, you know, snap ring pliers, but they're essential for our equipment. So everybody's got a little bit different needs. Now this is one where I went ahead and spent the money to get Icon. These are the hex key ball end sets, the professional ball end L-shaped hex wrench set, SAE, and metric. I hate cheap hex keys. Cheap hex keys have hurt me more times than I can count in the field. They round out fasteners, they damage a piece of equipment, and you know, I've spent, these were on sale for I think around $14 or $15, these hex key sets. So I've got, let's say $30. If not on sale, maybe I've got $40 sitting here. That's better than me ruining an instrument that costs, let's say a $20,000 instrument. And I've done it before with cheap hex keys. Okay, so these are the Icons. That set is the SAE. I do like that they're all different colors, so it makes it easy to remember, okay, I grabbed the gold one for what I'm working on. The Icons have the lifetime warranty. That's part of why I get them as well. That's trash. While we're talking, we'll open up the next set here. So if you can get them on sale for the $14, $15 for the Icon sets, I really recommend it. The cheap sets, like the Pittsburgh set from Harbor Freight, or some of the ones from the big box stores, are the ones that have hurt me badly. Yeah, so there's the metric set. And I do like that these are really long hex keys. And they've got the ball end. So these are essential in my mind for a field bag. Yeah, they're heavy. Those little ones that all fold together so you can't lose them, Again, I hate those because they're generally pretty poor quality or they're hard to get in somewhere. These extra long handle with the ball key or the ball end on the bottom for these hex keys make the icon hex keys, in my mind, a must for your field toolkit. All right. Next item from Harbor Freight for building a budget field toolkit here. The mini pick and hook set. This was just a couple bucks. The icon set is on sale right now on Harbor Freight, Black Friday, Cyber Monday for, I think, $10. So you might pick up the icon instead of the Pittsburgh. But again, remember, I'm building this toolkit as a budget toolkit. I like how easy that opens. So budget toolkit, these little pick sets for getting into small seals, just getting crud out of something that you're working on. And they're cheap, so you don't feel bad if you damage them. Okay, so pick set is an essential addition. Let's see, what else do we have in here? A file. So I just got the cheap file. The reason I'm building this budget toolkit is actually to send overseas, because we're going to go do a job installing some instruments overseas. And I don't want to carry a bunch of tools over. It's heavy, it's expensive. I just don't want to deal with it when we're coming into the country. So I'm going to ship this toolkit over there and leave it. We work with this customer quite a bit. So I need good tools, but I don't need the best tools, which is what I'm trying to help you decide when you're building your budget toolkit. So this is a half round file. I chose a half round because, as you can see, we've got a flat side and a round side. Having a file has saved me several times because something's not drilled quite right, or I need to just make something work in the field. We've all been in that situation, right? So carrying a file with you, not a bad idea. Okay. Oh, we're down to the last item in the first bag here. Now, I think I spent around $200 to $250 for all of this. We'll do the final total in the edited video for you. But not much. So for that much money, you can get a really pretty complete set of tools that are perfectly acceptable. Okay, these adjustable wrenches, crescent wrenches, I don't know what you call them. I call them universal thumb detecting nut rounders, or that's the nice version of what I like to call them. These things, by and large, are terrible. But I did put them in my inexpensive toolkit so we don't have to carry as much stuff around. All three sizes were probably unnecessary, but again, this was on sale. So that's why I got 3 sizes of adjustable wrenches. The Pittsburghs are fine. I've spent bigger money on more, the expensive, like the icons. I just thought the Pittsburghs were fine for what we're trying to do here. Okay, hacksaw. This thing is massive. It's absolutely massive. I don't know for sure if it was the best choice, but it was the least expensive choice. So let me take the packaging off here. That was easy. I don't know, would you guys put a big hacksaw in your field bag? Like the essential tools that you carry? It's got one blade with it. It's easy to adjust. I had to borrow one of these in the field once, and I thought, I'm gonna carry this around with me. Now that I'm holding it, I don't know if I'm gonna put it in the bag or not. But not a bad thing to have. And again, I think this was around $10. All right, let's just set that up there. Okay, curved jaw locking pliers, more commonly known as vice grips. They had this little 3-piece set from Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh pliers are hit or miss, but for what we're trying to do, building a budget toolkit, I think these are going to be just fine. I like the vice grip pliers because we have a lot of instruments that use pipe, and like galvanized pipe or black pipe in their construction, and these make it easy to lock on. So getting a set of them in the field kit seemed logical. This pack of 3 was around $10. And again, I don't need the best. I do kind of like the padded grip. I don't know how it'll hold up over time, We'll see. I mean, they are Pittsburgh, but the padded grip is kind of nice. And again, I got the 3 sizes. Do I need to put all 3 in the field bag? Probably not. I might not put all 3 in the field bag just because it's a lot of stuff to carry around. Sometime I'm going to do a pack out, a load out video on my service bags that I carry in my field truck. My quick service bag is something like, I don't know, 3 pounds. And then my things are really wrong service bag is something like 80 pounds. Okay, so we got 3 of the vice grip style locking pliers. All right. Oh yeah, I picked up, I'm not gonna put these in my field kit, but I picked up some D-ring anchors. They were on sale. D-ring anchors are always handy. Okay, wire strippers. Got to have wire strippers in the field kit. As I said, we do a lot of electronics, which means instruments have wires for power, for sensors. So I just got this set of Doyle wire strippers. They seem fine. I've used these before. They have a little screw cutter, though that's generally not that useful, I find. There we go, got the lock to go. So yeah, the Doyle wire strippers, I like the Klein wire strippers, but I like them less now that Klein doesn't do nearly as good of a warranty program as they used to when they get dull. So these were much less expensive than the Klein. Again, this is a budget tool bag. We're putting a tool bag together for $200 to $250. So wire strippers should be in it. All right, a roll of electrical tape. I like not cheap electrical tape, but again, it's a budget tool bag. So I thought we would try the Harbor Freight electrical tape and see what it's like. I've never tried the Harbor Freight tape before. And let's just go ahead and have a pull on it here. Okay, so it does feel like electrical tape. It's relatively thick. And it's easy to break off. Sticky seems pretty good. Okay, so the Harbor Freight electrical tape, jury's still out. We'll test it compared to some other tape, but for our cheap field bag, electrical tape is a good fix-all thing. Cheap set of gloves. I picked up these latex-coated work gloves. These were actually a freebie when I was in the store last weekend, so I didn't pay anything for these. That's the best kind of thing to put in a budget toolkit, right? It's something that didn't cost anything. Okay, let's get rid of the packaging there. Yeah, so these fit okay. I don't love the latex dip gloves generally, but again, they were free. And where we're going for doing this installation, I'm going to have my hands down in wet muck a lot. So I thought the latex dip might be nice. So you need a set of work gloves in your budget tool bag. You need a hammer. I got the 16-ounce ball peen, just the Pittsburgh is fine. I don't really like the carpenter's hammers for a field bag. Yeah, they've got the claw on the back, but you probably don't really need that. It just serves to tear up things in your bag. 16 ounce is a good weight. And again, I like the ball peen. Just remember, don't hit hard things on hard things. What I'm probably going to do, though, is saw this handle off so it fits in the field bag a little bit better. That's pretty long. I generally don't need to do heavy percussive maintenance in our field instruments, but light percussive maintenance. So yeah, you need a hammer. Picked up a couple of wire brushes. So I got a stainless and a brass wire brush. So for harder things, for softer things. Wire brushes, like 90 cents or something each. Really good for cleaning off corroded contacts, electrical contacts, cleaning up some mechanism that's not working, getting there with a stainless brush and clean off threads where something is corroded. So having a couple wired brushes is essential in your toolkit and doesn't add much cost. Okay, they had for free the magnetic 4-inch magnetic parts tray. I'm not going to put this in my field bag, but again, free is the best kind of budget there is. So I'm going to use that at the shop or the house. I do keep one of those magnetic parts trays in my truck. Actually, I just stick it in the bed. So when I'm working on things, I can throw fasteners up there. Okay, so we got the sacks out of the way. We just got a few more items here in our budget toolkit. So remember, if you're watching, put down below what you think I'm missing in this budget toolkit, what you would add, what you would leave out. This is the Pittsburgh 18-inch pipe wrench, monkey wrench, whatever you want to call it. I like the Swedish pipe wrench style. Pipe wrench is a lot better than these, but this is inexpensive. This probably does not need to be in your toolkit unless you use instruments that have a lot of pipe. So for example, one of our instruments is an extensometer, measures how much the ground is compacting or expanding. And it is based on pipe, just plain old plumbing pipe. And so we need to tighten those joints. So that's why I picked this up to put in the field bag, but it is quite heavy. So you probably don't need that in your field bag. Same thing. This is a transmission funnel or a long, narrow funnel. You probably don't need one of these in your bag, as this isn't going to go in the bag. It's just going to stay with our customer. But in those long pipes in that instrument, I need to be able to fill them with hydraulic oil. And last time I was stuck in the field using this knife and water bottles and tape making my funnel. That was not very fun because the weather was miserable. So I picked up one of these funnels for a couple bucks. Pittsburgh 22-piece combination wrench set. This has SAE and metric. So remember, we're building a budget toolkit. We're trying to stay $200, $250. What you need for your instruments, for field work, for your first-in troubleshooting kit. Yeah, this is kind of a janky holder, but it's going to be fine. I just need these in probably not great situations in the field, honestly. Most of the time we're doing our field instruments, they're designed to be done with a couple pairs of pliers. But having this set was, I believe, $20 or a little less, and they're perfectly fine. You're potentially going to break them if you put tons and tons of load on them, but if you're putting that much load on it, something else is already very wrong. The Pittsburghs are fine. We have these scattered around the shop in various assembly areas, and we like them, no problems. Tape measure. Pittsburgh. This is the 25-foot tape measure. I like 25-foot tape measures because to me, a 10 or a 12-foot is often too short. I'm often working with full sticks of metal or pipe in the field. 25 is a lot better. The Pittsburgh is not a great tape measure. I'll tell you that right now. I like the Milwaukee tape measure a lot better, but it's much more expensive. And as you know, tape measures have a habit of walking off on the job site. So this one is going to be just fine for our field pack and is much less expensive. Remember, we're trying to keep that budget toolkit. Okay, we're down to the last few items here, and they're in this bin because I actually already had them here in the shop. So one is the Pittsburgh plier set. So we've got some diagonal cutters, some needle nose, and some regular slip joint pliers. These are not great pliers. They're fine. They will grab things. They do basically what pliers should do. They're not very comfortable. The jaws are not super well aligned. But for a budget field kit where you're just going out and doing instrument service, instrument installation, these are just fine. I like my Knipex pliers quite a bit. I like the Icon pliers a ton, but they're much more expensive. One Icon plier is more than this entire set. So having basically some slip joints, some needle nose, and some diagonal cutters is a must for your field tool bag. All right, and then screwdrivers. So there is this set of Pittsburgh inexpensive screwdrivers. Again, they're not the best screwdrivers that you're going to find. They're okay. They're a little bit soft. I have twisted the tips on some of these a little before, but for the cost of the set, it's really not too bad. Now, the biggest downside to these is they take up a lot of room in your bag. I like exchangeable bit screwdrivers quite a lot, but I don't want to put one in this bag because, again, one of those screwdrivers is going to cost more than this entire set. And I'm not too worried about my back in this case. This bag is going to get shipped around to various job sites. So I'm going to stick with these. So we're starting to wrap up here on what's going to be able to fit in this bag. We'll look at the bag and see how we can potentially get it to fit in. Again, this is the bag. Oh, we lost a tool there. This is the bag from Amazon, $20 Dintuyu tool bag. So we'll see what we can fit in there. But what am I missing? What would you put in a budget toolkit? Okay, so I'm going to get the screwdrivers out here. These are the Klein. I put these in here just to show you the Klein wire strippers that I like quite a bit. But the Doyles are almost just as good and much less expensive. Like I said, I was kind of angry with Klein that their warranty is not nearly what it used to be. So let's take a look at the tool bag now. So this outer pocket, first of all, you've got loops here. They're not elastic, but again, it's a $20 bag. So they got loops to attach to there. The zippers feel pretty crummy, as you would expect. Got a mesh pocket in here and some places for screwdrivers, some pliers pockets up in here. So not bad for a $20 bag. All right. Now let's look at this big inner pocket. So this opens all the way up, which is really nice. And there's a zipper pocket back here. Not very deep. Not sure what we would put in that, but I'm sure we'll find something. Some little pin holder things in here, screwdrivers. We do have an elastic up here at the top. So there's a little bit of elastic in this bag. And that's it. So there's really just two main compartments. There is a third under the Dintuyu, just a storage compartment, if you want to put bits or something like that in there. And then there's a place for a card holder here. The padding's okay. It's not great. But again, this is a budget tool bag. Now in my service bag, I carry some drill bits. I carry some reaming tools. I carry a few more things that are here on the table. But again, this is a budget bag. We're trying to stay $250 or less, what you should build for your field toolkit. So I'm going to open it up to the main part here. And let's see what we can do with putting things like some screwdrivers in. I do like that these Pittsburgh screwdrivers, the color of the handle tells you what they are. Like red or Phillips, blue are straight slot, green are square, or sorry, it's yellow. Yellow are square and green are Torx. If I run out of room in this bag, which I predict is going to happen, I'm probably going to leave those here. I don't really encounter them that much. What about these little screwdrivers? So we have the nicer set of the precision screwdrivers. For now, I'm going to try to stick them in here because these I feel less bad about beating on. They're a cheap set of Pittsburgh screwdrivers. All right, let's see how many of these we can fit in here. Maybe this is not going to be the most convenient field bag. We're not going for most convenient, best loadout. We're going for budget. Okay, there's a square and a square. Only got one Torx. Remember, like I said, these were already around the shop from a long time ago. All righty. So now we've got these are the snap ring pliers, the Quinn snap ring pliers. I'm going to put them right up here. Again, remember we use snap rings in several of our instruments. There's our slip joint pliers, our needle nose pliers, and our diagonal cutters. Those all pack into this bag pretty nicely. This is actually a nice looking little back plane here right now. I do have these bits for the snap ring pliers. I'm going to just stick them under that elastic right there. We'll see if they stay. I might put them somewhere else in a zipper pocket maybe. But that's looking pretty good. Okay. What about our wire strippers? These are the Doyle wire strippers. I'm going to stick them in there with our snap ring pliers. Got a couple of wire brushes. These are actually perfect to go in these elastic straps right here. So I'm going to do that. Yeah, get it where you can see it a little better. Yep, so wire brushes go in those elastics there. Gloves, I normally hang gloves on the outside of my bag with a glove hanger. For budget, I didn't buy one. I'm going to put those in that outside pocket when we get there. Our Quinn precision screwdriver set. It could go out here, but I think for now I'm going to stick it just in the floor of the bag when we get ready to zip it up. Our file, this is our half round Pittsburgh file. Let's see, where can we get this to fit? You know, I'm going to take those out and I'm going to put this file under the elastic strap there. I'm just worried that these little bits for the snap ring pliers are going to get lost. So we'll put those somewhere else. All right, let's go to this pocket and see what we can do here. I've got the locking pliers. I'm going to put locking pliers in here. Okay, that fits pretty well. I've got adjustable wrenches. Let's see, those can actually, it's a little too tall for this pocket right there. The shorter ones will fit in there, but the taller adjustable wrench is going to have to go back here. Our hex key sets, you know, I think those are just perfect in this outer. Whoa. Okay, I think the hex keys are perfect in this outer pocket here. They'll slide around a little bit, but that's okay. All right. Electrical tape and picks. So we're doing a loadout of a mostly Harbor Freight $250 minimum toolkit here. I'm going to put in this top pocket my gloves, my electrical tape, stuff that I need to get to really quick. You know, maybe plumber's tape goes in there. Do you use plumber's tape a lot? Then put it in there if you need to seal stuff up. The picks, those are short. So since the picks are short, we're going to put those back here. Now I'm going to see if I can get my mic back on here. Got excited. There we go. Got excited loading tools out and knocked the mic off. All right. So the picks, I'm going to stick them in here. Okay, so those actually fit perfect in this little Dentoo bag right here. Okay. I'm still a little worried with what I'm going to do with the pieces for our snap ring pliers. Oh, here we go. I'm going to put them in this little side pocket that Velcros down. At least they close that way. Now, I didn't get these at Harbor Freight, but you should always have a pen and a Sharpie at a minimum. I like having multiple colors, but this is a minimum loadout. So I'm going to put my pen and Sharpie somewhere. Actually, let's do those in here. There's these little pin holders. Most of these pin holders are too small for most of the pins that I've got, it looks like, but there's this little piece in the bottom to try to give the tool bag some shape. Okay, I've got the spare blade for our tubing cutter. I'm going to put it over here in this side pocket. We have the tubing cutter itself. This is the Doyle tubing cutter that goes up to 1.25 inches. Not a super commonly used thing. So maybe it goes down here in just the bottom of this compartment. Okay, so we're getting pretty close to the end of the loadout here. I'm pretty happy. Well, that doesn't close so well. Okay, so we're going to have to find something different to do with this Doyle. This back compartment, that's pretty much locked up now. Let's see. If I turn this sideways, maybe you can see in here a little bit. Yeah, we're gonna maybe slip it. No, there's not room there either. Okay, for now I'm gonna set it in the bottom and let's see what happens. We've got our Quinn precision screwdriver set. I'm gonna set it there in the bottom. And let's see, can we zip the bag up? We can. The bag stands up. It's not too heavy yet, so we're not doing too bad, but we still have a few large items. The large items, like this pipe wrench, we aren't going to be able to fit that in this bag, I don't think. We'll try. I'm also not sure what we're going to do with our Pittsburgh combination wrenches yet, because we're really pretty much out of room. This is a small bag. It was a $20 bag. So I'm going to open just the top compartment here to remind you what all we've got in there. We've got our screwdrivers. Oh, no, it's going to go ahead and open the rest of the way. Got all of our screwdrivers, files. This seems like the logical place to put these, but they're probably not going to fit. I mean, we can put them in there, I guess, technically, and zip it up, but they don't fit super well. So unfortunately, I'm probably going to have to do that just to get this bag out the door. The hammer can potentially go in here like that. I'm going to have to cut that handle down just a little bit. That's okay. So I think if we can get that to zip up, I'm afraid of putting too much more weight in this bag. The zippers are not amazing. We can't forget our tape measure. Clip that on these straps there. And I think that's about it. So this is our $250 plus or minus loadout. And there's a few special tools that didn't fit in the bag, like the pipe wrench or like the hacksaw, but that's okay. Those are probably very specialized for what I need to go to the field for. But you've got pretty much everything you need in here to do basic field work. And it's not that heavy. I would say that's about 25, 30 pounds. So I hope that you enjoyed this. Be sure, if you're watching this later after this live stream is ended, to still comment. Let me know what you think that we should have put in here, what we put in here that we shouldn't have put in here. This is the first live stream that we've done. If you like this, we'll do some more of these. But there's also going to be a more edited version of the loadout of this bag later on the main channel. So be sure that you like and subscribe. And with that, thanks for hanging out with me on a rainy November afternoon as I put things in a bag and unpack my Harbor Freight haul. Hope that you're finding lots of good deals as you are shopping your Black Friday, Cyber Monday tool sales. I've seen quite a few things out there. Home Depot, Lowe's, Harbor Freight all have some pretty good sales going on right now. So I hope that you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments what you think we did good or bad, and if you'd like to see more of these. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and sign off. It's cold and I want some more hot coffee. So see y'all later.